So what's up? How we doing today? We're going to look at Bob's approach on the other one. And what better way to start with than learning the kind of opening lick that he used to do in the earlier days. And then we're going to take it further out from there. But let's give it a listen to this and then we'll break down what's going on with it. We started right here, 7th fret on an E, right? Just going, and then minor third, hammering onto the major third knob 3 times, and then that pattern up here, we got just going up like the blues scale, just stopping right in that blue note. You have to kind of jump back real quick to. Oops, if I can get that, and that's it. But that's, you know, even if he didn't play that every time, it's a good little look to know. Kind of gives you a little framework, gives you the feel for the song. And the next thing we want to do is know the chord progression, right? Which is just, it's not even really chord progression. It's just E and D, classic kind of dead stuff. You're just hanging on that E, hitting that D. But let's give a listen to the typical kind of Bob variation of how he plays these chords, and we'll see what's going on with that. So we could just play, and sometimes he would just play a power chord, just these 2, these 3. You gotta really make sure you mute these strings around it. Whatever you do, you kind of mute these. So you just hear those 3 because it's very rhythmic. You know, you don't want to hear like that's actually sounds like it works, you know, but that makes it a little, sounds like, you know, some kind of 90s tune there. But it's, we want that percussive. And sometimes you just play octaves too, so you don't play the middle one. But I digress. The example I played, he was doing his classic kind of Bob, or he wasn't, I was doing it, trying to be Bob. Doing this right here, playing his major chord like this, but you're just not even bothering with the root, just those 2. So just those middle 2 strings, and if you wanted to, you could add, he would do this a lot too, add this, the major third from here, up an octave here. Which may seem a little foreign to you if you're not used to this Bob voice. The first time I learned, I was like, whoa, what is he doing? You know, it's just like playing this major voicing like that at E, but putting this instead of the 5th here, putting it here. If you don't know all these, I'm talking the 5th, 3rd, you know, don't worry about it too much. You can just kind of learn these shapes and just use your ears. You don't have to always, you know what's going on. A lot of people think they need to, and that's like the key to making them play the way they want to play. If they're frustrated, then they're not playing the way they want to play, which, I mean, really should be, because we all are. That's how it keeps us going, getting frustrated. You hear these sounds in your head, you're not doing it, but you don't need to know all this knowledge. It can help, but sometimes it can actually get in the way. But I do recommend learning it. But don't worry about it if you don't know that. It's just a different way of playing. You could play like this, but you don't need all this. So just those middle 2, and that's it. So that's the verse part. We're not going to actually go over the chorus. It's just a quick, easy thing, or maybe I will. Here, it's just E, D, C, A, G, and then it does it again. E, D, C, A, G, D, real quick, and does it again. And you can take just pieces of it. You don't have to play the roots there. Things like that, you know. But I digress. I'm going quick here, but I don't want to focus on that part because it's such a quick little thing and not like, you know, what you really kind of almost listen to the song for is the jam, right? So we're going to focus on the improv kind of techniques and tactics that he would be using. I usually say improv tactics for lead stuff, these videos, but I guess this is an improv tactic thing too, because we're going to focus on his improv approach. So with that out of the way, let's look at the next thing that he's doing, and let's get a listen first and then see what's going on. So here, just something you do a lot when you get away from kind of playing chords, and that's just playing, okay, we're up here, the song is jamming out on that E, D, it's mostly an E, and it kind of revolves around like an E7. When you play that D, it makes it give this overall E7 sound, just this classic kind of dead jam, you know, approach, but it's not really a Mixolydian one that they often do. This, to me, in my ear, hears it as a Dorian, or if you're doing it up here, and just like I said before, the knowledge, if you don't know what this means, doesn't matter. It's just E minor scale, but instead of a flat 6, a raised 6. So you can kind of just use any of those notes, and he just sometimes would get up here and start playing around with that. And this is also something you could call a pedal, because he's playing a note on top. My example, I was playing this note right here, which would be the 6th scale degree. And I should say too that even though again we're playing on these major chords, and sometimes it's just power chords, it's a little more kind of primal sounding with just the power chords, raw, you know. But that Dorian, that minor third gives it that, it's a little more that edge. It's not quite regular minor. You could certainly use that too. You know, I'm not going to obsess about the scale choices and note choices. We're just going to look at some chords and variations and general approaches. I don't have to do, you know, as much with that, but that you may think clashes if you're playing a minor type of scale with major chords, but that's something we want. You want some dissonance and stuff, especially in this song. Really, that's how you take it out. So we're playing around that scale. You get that note on top. Just kind of playing around down it. He would do this stuff a lot. You could grab this note too. Like there you go. That's a good way of like repeating an idea like this. And then do it again, but lower this note here. Maybe this. And that's like you know get this like theme going. So the idea here is just start messing around with single notes and put notes on top or notes on the bottom and kind of let those ring out while you change the other notes around it, and you're not just playing chords the whole time. That's just classic kind of Bob stuff, because you can't just be that, you know, for 15 minutes. That would get a little old. So let's check out the next example, see if you can figure out what it is I'm focusing on, and then we'll check out what it is. So this is where we're starting to really pull it out here. This is a thing called quartal harmony. Quartal, like quartz, meaning fourth, and it's taking the notes, right, of the, you just take the notes of that key, right, of the scale, right, or if you're just thinking about, again, focusing on E Dorian, playing notes in fourths, so it's the intervals. So if we're doing it, say we start way up here, just go up a fourth, going up a fourth, this is an E on top, and then going down, and we're not going to go down to the scale exactly, because sometimes the scale, the chord shape would change, but we'll keep it simple, we'll keep the same shape. So these three strings, so B, G, and D strings, you know, so this is just one way. I was playing around different ways, but the example, but we're going to just focus on just this shape, just this way, and that really changes the sound from getting to this, and now we're getting more to that minor, but it's really a Dorian minor scale, which functions as a minor scale, if you don't know. And that takes a way out. It's different types of sounds than just playing like a normal minor chord shape. Definitely, you know, should sound very jazzy. First time I heard this, I was just, my head exploded. I love the sound so much, and then I went totally over the top, using it way too much. So I urge you, just like I say with a lot of things, if it's new to you, just try doing it a lot so you get used to it, but then you want to dial it back and try weaving it in. So maybe you just kind of like, you know, then regular parts of, you know, an E minor chord or something. If you want to start pulling away from that major sound, you can start using a minor chord. That's what he would do a lot too. So just one little piece, two, you know. Something like that, you know, so weave it in there. And now when you work through it, you don't have to just play exactly this. You can really milk it by playing just these two strings, the middle two, right? And then you can also do these two, and then mixing it up. So if you're going like this, don't play all three, but oops, yeah. Start again there, you know. Or doing it right here around this shape here. And that way you can get even more melodic by just doing these two note little things. I mean, that's what Bob would do a lot, and that's what I do a lot in my own playing, is I'm always playing, thinking it in terms of not these big blocks of chords, but little pieces. It's, you know, one, just all the way down to one note, like we were doing in the last section, 2, 3, 4, and building off from there. So hopefully that stuff will, you know, help kind of give you that sound and open things up. But that's just the gist of it, the starting point for Bob's approach for that, and we'll give you some new sounds and new stuff to work with. Have fun, and I'll see you in the next video.